Hello, Maverick fans, and welcome to a very special edition of the Mavpuckcast. I am here with the privilege of interviewing Old Bull, as Ryan Walters used to call it, Dominic Vidoli. How are you today, Dom?
I'm fantastic. I'm stoked to be here. So thanks for having me.
Well, thanks so much to agreeing to this interview. When John and I ran into you in Colorado Springs, I think it was Halloween,
Yeah,
and
right around there.
you you were working as a research assistant, I think, at Colorado State, and I had
Yeah.
no idea, where you would be when I reached out to you for this, but your LinkedIn profile says you are a professional hockey player, so congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it feels good to still have it up there for the time being, at least.
Well, let's rewind a little bit to how you got to where you are right now. Obviously, you were with Omaha for just one season, that 2023-24 season as a super senior, and you were grinding it out in the NCHC. So what happened between then and now?
Oh, I've been all over the place. My own family has trouble keeping up with me and where I'm at. But since then, I'm in my second year of playing pro hockey. Right after Omaha, I left and see, I got to think back now. I've been so many different places. Um, I left and I went to Budapest, Hungary. So I was playing pro in Budapest, Hungary for about 5 or 6 months. Loved my time there, but decided I wanted to come back and try North American pro. So I ended up finishing out last season in Lake Tahoe, another great place to live, playing hockey there. But I ended with an injury. So I wasn't, I went into the off season kind of unsure of what I was going to do, if I was going to keep playing or not. So to start the season this year, I wasn't playing, which is why I saw you in Colorado, Colorado Springs. I was actually living with one of my good buddies in Fort Collins, Colorado, and I was working as a sports concussion researcher. So I have my degree was in neuroscience, so I was working in this lab and trying to figure out what I was going to do next. I have too many things that I'm interested in, and so I was trying to figure things out. So I spent about 5 or 6 months in Fort Collins. Yeah, I got to head up to Colorado Springs and see the boys play and run into you guys there. And then had the opportunity pop up to come back and play and live in the north of France. So that's where we're at right now. I'm living in the north of France in a smaller town called Valenciennes. And I'm playing hockey here for at least the next 2 months. So it's a shorter season. I got here right at the beginning of right around the new year. And I'll be here till end of March-ish, potentially mid-April, and then gonna go travel around afterwards and try to figure out where I'm landing next after that.
Well, and I was looking at the team website, and it's in French. And John and I took a little bit of high school French. He took a
Yeah,
little bit
I'm
more than I
good.
did.
Yeah,
Un peu.
I'm good. Yeah.
And so I had to use Google Translate to kind of figure it out. But it's very interesting to me. Their roster is organized like you might expect. It has the offense's attackers,
Yep.
the defense's defenders, and then you're listed as other. What does that mean?
I didn't know that. I didn't know I was listed as other.
You have your
I
own separate section of the website. It's
Is that
other.
right?
Yes.
I haven't even seen our website. I haven't seen our roster, so I didn't know that. Um, it might be because I haven't been the best in the D zone. I like getting up in the offense. So they might list me as like a hybrid. No, but I should at least be listed as a defender, a défenseur, as they say here. So I don't know what the whole other thing is about. I don't know if they just haven't gotten into I just had to take my team photo and stuff yesterday, so I don't know if they're just like waiting. I have no clue. I wish I had an answer for you, but I don't. I don't know. I don't know if that's a knock on my defensive game or not, or they say
Or
you're not good at either one,
or
offense or
positive
defense.
on the fact that you're, an attacking defenseman. I don't know.
Right? Yeah. I guess it depends on how you look at it, but yeah, I don't know. That's a great question. I'll ask about that and get back to you.
It does have your photo. It's probably not the current photo, but it does have a
Okay.
photo. But you're also the only American on the team.
That's right. Yeah, we have an awesome group of imports. I think in the league here you're limited to seven imports, if that's I think that's right. And we have the rest of them are Canadian guys. Yeah, I'm the only American, but we have a great group in general. The French guys are awesome. The imports are awesome. But yeah, we have a really good group, and the North American guys kind of lean on each other, and we live close. We spend a lot of time away from the rink together and stuff. So, but yeah, I'm the only American, which is like, it puts me in an interesting spot because everyone is interested in America and they have so many questions and stuff. And whenever someone hears English around here, they start asking about America, and all the Canadian guys are like, ask that guy, and then it all gets thrown to me. So, but
What
yeah.
kind of questions do they want to know?
They want to know everything. They're obsessed with New York City and Los Angeles. So they want to know, have you been there? What's it like? They want to know everything. Where are you from? Why do you guys why do you guys consume so much? Like you guys, your portions are so big. Like they have so many questions. They say our coffee's no good, which drives me nuts. Yeah,
Okay, I'm going to lean into that a little bit. You said at one point you wanted to be a barista, that
that's
you're
right.
pretty much a coffee connoisseur.
That's right.
How is French coffee?
I might get if anyone here hears this, I might get in trouble. But they told me that's one of the first things they told me. They're like, French coffee is amazing, and I'm like, great, I'm excited. I'm incredibly underwhelmed. It's they don't- I don't think it's anything special. You cannot get a big coffee here. You can't like you go to, I mean, anywhere like in Omaha. I won't get going on the coffee shops yet. Maybe we can get into that in a bit, but there's a million there that I can shout out. But like you go and you can get a large coffee and just sip on it and enjoy it and stuff. Here, you're not going to find it. You go to a coffee shop around here. It's like you can get a espresso, a double espresso, a latte, and like maybe a cappuccino or something. But that's it. And they don't have different roasts of beans and stuff. I won't nerd out on the coffee stuff, but it's not, in my opinion, American coffee is far superior. So that's
Sorry to take you in a
take.
tangent on that, but I knew that you had a particular interest in coffee. So,
Yes, I'm obsessed with coffee. I actually just bought a coffee pot here yesterday. I just told you I'm moving into my new apartment here, and I just bought a coffee pot. So
you're
that's my
going to DIY your coffee.
That's right. Yeah, because I got sick of going and paying €5 for a tiny little coffee that I can drink in one sip. So, so, yeah, I bought a real coffee pot. I'm gonna make my own coffee.
So, are you learning French at all, or is it working out for you to be able to speak English?
I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best. You know what? Like you can. So when I was in Budapest, you can get away with English because it's such a big city and people come from all over the place, and like English is kind of like the one that you fall back on. Here, like smaller town, way in the north of France, like we're not far from Paris. Like you can get there in probably an hour and 20-minute train ride and stuff, but like you're still away. And so there's not a whole lot, like mainly French around here, not a whole lot of people that speak English. And so you either gotta learn or you gotta be really proficient in Google Translate. So I'm lucky. I took a good amount of French like throughout high school and a little bit in college. So I had some background, but I coming in here, I thought that I had a good foundation of French, but then you get thrown into the fire and they start riffing and rattling, and when they start speaking, it's like they might as well be speaking Japanese or something. Like I have no, it is difficult. I've gotten better for sure. I'm like a month into my time here now, and I've gotten better, but I struggle. Like I put myself out there. Like when I go into a restaurant or a coffee shop or whatever it is, and I order, like I'll order in French. Like I'll hit them with like the "Je voudrais un café s'il vous plaît," and then like they'll fire back in French with like a few other questions, and I'm like, whoa, like
Hold on.
that's beyond. Yeah, like slow down. Say it really slowly, like enunciate your words, and maybe I'll get it. So yeah, it's been a little bit tough, but that's where it's nice. Like the French guys on the team are great. Like there's quite a few guys that speak pretty good English, and like they can act as our translators and stuff around the city. Like I had to go get Wi-Fi for my apartment here the other day, and like I had to bring one of the French guys with me to Well, he's actually a French Canadian. I won't do him like that. He's a French Canadian guy, but anyway, he's fluent. So he came with me to help me set it up because no one speaks English. So I'm
So
getting
you
there.
got the
I'm getting
buddy
better.
system going.
Long story short, I'm getting better. I can speak, I can get my points across in conversation, and when someone replies, I can understand so long as they say it really slowly and enunciate their words and like maybe act it out a bit. Like
I get
so
that. I get that part of it. So
yeah.
the off ice stuff is a little bit of a challenge, but how does the on ice experience compare to
Yeah.
playing pro in America?
Um it's are you talking communication wise or style play?
Both.
Okay, communication wise, that's where like I go like default mode and I'm fully in English on the ice. I'm like yeah, it's tough. Like I'm not yelling things out in French on the ice. Like if I'm calling out like, where I want someone to go with, but it's in English and I just gotta hope that they understand what I'm saying. And there's a lot of like stick pointing. I'm like, go there with the puck. Um, Style play is way different. Way different. It's like North American hockey is it's I mean the big difference is the size of the ice. I mean NHL ice is a lot smaller than European ice, so like you have over here you have like a lot more space, like especially width. It's like you have a lot more space to work, so a lot more yeah, I wouldn't say necessarily more skill, but like a lot more room to operate, so kind of more like stick play, like not as much like physicality and everything. So yeah, that's a big difference. And then style play, like North American hockey is super tough. Like it's hard nosed, very physical, fast hockey, lots of skill in tight space. Over here, I'd say it's yeah, like I said, more room, less physical, and it's interesting. Like when you're on the ice with imports, you're kind of playing a North American style. Like when you're on the ice with the Canadian guys, like you kind of revert back to what we know and how we play. And then when you're on the ice with some of the European guys, like it's kind of a different game. Like you're kind of maybe you're holding on to the puck more and, kind of different reads and stuff. So it's there's almost like two games within a game. Like if I'm getting on the ice and I see like a bunch of Canadian guys, it's like, okay, like we're playing north-south hockey, like playing fast, like physical. And then if you get on the ice with the Europeans, like, okay, like maybe we're gonna, take some more time and space and yeah, things like that. So it's different. It's for sure an adjustment, but it's been fun. I'm just having fun playing over here and enjoying the few months that I'm here.
That is really cool, and I imagine it's kind of a lot mentally for you then to have to be adapting to a new culture, a new country, and then the different style of play even within the same game.
Big
Is
time.
that tiring?
You know what? It can be for sure. It can be, and then like, it's difficult like when you are trying to communicate and stuff and maybe they don't necessarily understand what you're saying in English and everything. There can be a little bit of frustration and but it's all good. Like I think that's one of the coolest parts of being here and one of the reasons I came is like because it forces you outside of your comfort zone. Like it forces you into things that you're not used to and like I think that's a cool thing. Like it's something that like, you might be frustrated in the moment, but then like I'll look back on it, whatever it is, like whenever I'm gone from here a few months from now, whatever it is, like I'll be like, oh, that was cool. Like I was in a new place. I battled a language barrier. I, met guys from all over the place, a bunch of different backgrounds, and I had a good time playing the game of hockey. So that's why I'm doing it. So it's all good.
So how does something like that come about? Like how do you find out about opportunities? Because this team in particular, like I said, the whole website is in French and
Yeah,
again it's completely different leagues and stuff. How did that come
yeah.
about for you?
Yeah. So, I mean, at this point, like everyone kind of works with an agent, and there are some guys that are more connected within the European leagues, and some guys that are more connected with the North American leagues. And when I was thinking about potentially coming back and playing, like I had been training the whole time and skating and everything, and I was like, maybe it could be fun to go back and play. And I just like I had been in touch with my agent and I just like we just talked about it and I was just like, hey, what is there anything open in Europe in the second half? And he like, and there's a lot of movement in pro hockey. I mean, you know this, like guys are kind of coming and going back and forth throughout the season, and right around the halfway point, like end of December, January is when there's a lot of movement. And so my agent was like, yeah, there's going to be plenty of opportunities. And so I think it's basically they just go and they throw your name out there in a bunch of different leagues, and then you just field offers from whoever's interested. And for me, it was just go to the coolest place that you could go to. Like,
France is pretty cool.
that's the thing. Like I hadn't been here, and again, like I had a little bit of a background in French, and I was like, why not? Like, why not go see it? And I'm in a good spot too, where I can get to a lot of different places, and whenever it is, if we have some time off, like midweek and or after the season, like I can get to a lot of different places and travel. Like I was just up in Belgium last week. You can get to London in like 2 hours. You can get to Germany in a couple hours. You can get all over the place. So it's like, yeah, that's kind of that was a big thing that I was thinking about when I made the decision.
How quickly did it come about for you though? Because you're moving literally, across the globe. How much time did
Yeah.
you have to do that?
It was pretty quick. I mean, I knew like I had started looking. I mean, when I had seen you guys in Colorado, like I was I was thinking about it at that point, and then but I didn't really have anything in place, and I knew that I wasn't going to go back until the second half of the season, like right around January. So I knew I had some time, but then I mean, the opportunity here and most of the opportunity didn't really pop up until like mid-December. And so like I had to change up plans pretty quickly. Like I was obviously I had all my stuff out in Colorado with me, and so I packed up my stuff like I don't know, maybe like December 15th, 16th, whatever it was, and I road tripped across the country back to my family was having Christmas in Cleveland where I grew up. So then yeah, I road trip back to Cleveland, spent Christmas there for like a week and some change, and then flew out and went right to France from there. I left all my stuff. My stuff's still at my grandma's house. Yeah, half of it's in the back of my truck. So
Goodness
then
gracious.
whenever I'm
All right.
ready to go
Well,
back, yeah, I'll
I would say
just
that's a great segue then, because I wanted to find out kind of how you got into hockey and how you
yeah.
got to Omaha. So I saw in a couple different places. One said that you were born in Strongsville. Is that by Cleveland?
Yeah, that's a suburb of Cleveland. Yeah, just south, like maybe 20 minutes south of Cleveland.
Okay.
So
But
right
then
there.
your
Yeah,
family
north
had
is
moved at one point and then now they're back?
no, so we've been all over the place. Like it's hard to keep. Yeah, so originally from grew up in the Cleveland area, I should say. I guess I'm not like a strict Cleveland, Ohio guy. I was born right in Cleveland, Ohio, but I lived in Strongsville, Ohio. For some reason, some of my buddies are like when I say I'm from Cleveland, they're like, "You're not from Cleveland, you're from Strongsville." I'm like, okay, like same thing.
Mean.
Yeah. But yeah, so I grew up there, and then right around like 16 years old. My parents were moving to North Carolina. So they moved to Wake Forest, North Carolina, which is again just like maybe 20 minutes north of Raleigh. So right outside Raleigh. I moved away and I went to prep school in Culver Military Academy
Yep.
in Indiana. Yeah, and then my family was in Raleigh for like about 10 years. Yeah, and then from there we bounced around quite a bit. Like when I was in Omaha, they moved to Tennessee. So now my mom and dad are in Tennessee, but a lot of families still in Ohio. Hence why we were up.
Grandma, all your
Yeah,
stuff.
grandma runs the family, so we go wherever grandma wants to go for Christmas, and so we were up in Cleveland for Christmas. So
That's amazing. Well, yeah, I
yeah,
saw like Ohio and then I saw Wake Forest is listed as your hometown and some
yeah,
stuff. So I knew that there was a story there.
yeah. It's kind of one of those things like I Cleveland was my hometown. Like your Cleveland is my hometown. That's where I grew up. But then it had been so long since I had been there, where it's like. Like then my family was in North Carolina for 10 years. It's like, do I claim North Carolina or do I claim Cleveland? It's like I'm a Cleveland guy at heart. I didn't really live in North Carolina full time ever. So yeah, I'm kind of like right in between there. I don't but yeah, I'm a Cleveland guy for sure. Like that's my answer.
All right. Well, we'll get back to being an Ohio guy for sure.
Yeah.
But I saw online that nobody in your family really played hockey, but
Yeah.
you got started in a garage. Tell me a little bit
That's
about that.
cool. Yeah, no one in my family played it. Like so there was like when I told my parents I wanted to try hockey, they were shocked. They're like, "What?" Because the first time I skated, I was I don't know, maybe like 3. And I think I cried on the ice. Like I hated it, and I don't remember, but my mom said that I cried and I didn't want to be there, and so they figured that hockey would never be a thing. But yeah, when I was probably four, one of my best buddies growing up moved in. He'd moved from Spokane, Washington, and they have the Spokane Chiefs there, the one of the junior hockey teams in the WHL. And so he had, gone to a few games, and I think that's where he had gotten interested in hockey. And so he had a few hockey sticks and like a hockey net and stuff. So we would like again, like I'm four, like we would go and hang out in his garage, and we'd play ball hockey and play with tennis balls or whatever. And I don't know if you can really call it playing hockey. We were probably trying to play hockey, but it felt like we were playing hockey. But I'm sure it didn't look great. But yeah, then I think whatever happened, all I know is that like the story my mom tells me this. Like I woke up from a nap one day right around that, and I was just like, I want to play hockey. And so my parents were like, okay, we'll try. So they got me into skating lessons right away, which was the best way to do it. Like you can't start learning to play hockey without learning to skate, which I think some people try to bypass the skating thing, which doesn't always work out the best. I went right into the learned to skate, and then started hockey when I was 5 years old. And here we are 22 years later, 21 years later, whatever it is. So, yeah, it's been quite a journey, but, yeah, it got all started in a garage. Shout out if he sees this, shout out to Zach Robinson. Zach Robinson was my neighbor who got me into it.
Does Zach still play hockey, or you just took
No,
off?
he played for a while, and he was really good too. He probably could have kept going. He moved away. He moved to Chicago when we were like 14. He was a really good basketball player. So he played college basketball. I think at least his freshman year. I think he won a D3 national championship, if I'm not wrong. And yeah, he was a really good basketball player. So yeah, not playing hockey anymore, but still, I saw him actually this past summer. I drove through Chicago and stayed with him for a night or two. So
That's
yeah,
amazing. But he
still
set
in
you on
touch.
the path where you are now.
That's right. That's right. So I owe it to Zach Robinson who initially got me into hockey.
Love that. Love that.
Yep.
So then you mentioned you went to Culver and played there for a couple years, and then you got recruited to BU.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, I went to Culver Academy my sophomore year of high school. So I was there for 3 years. Yeah, graduated from there, and then yeah, it was. And Bernie and Gabs love to give me crap for this because um, each step of the way they had tried recruiting me, and I had a good relationship with Bernie. Bernie was the one who I was talking to mainly, and yeah, first time around when I was in high school, I ended up picking BU. So yeah, I graduated from Culver, and then went in that next year out of high school. Went into BU. That was what was it, 2018, 2019 would have been my freshman year at BU.
But then it didn't work out.
Didn't work out. Yeah, I was there. I had a cup of coffee there, is what I like to say. I went in. I was there for summer semester. Had a really good time. It was awesome. Like summer in Boston was incredible. I love Boston as a city. It was great. Fresh, fall of freshman year rolls around. Had an injury to start, which kept me out like the first month and a half of the season. And then, like I say it all the time, like I rushed into college. Like it was, I rushed in and I skipped the whole junior route, which I was like, I don't want to go to play junior. I can go right into college. I'm just going to go right into college. And I rushed it. And I think that was a mistake looking back on it. I think I probably should have gone and like taken a little bit more time to mature and, play some more hockey before I went to college. And yeah, once the halfway point rolled around, I played a few games there and learned a lot. And I really enjoyed Boston University. There's a lot of really good people that I met there. Some of my, lifelong buddies. I really enjoyed it, but I was like, I got to go back and play junior and get some reps and kind of mature a little bit and grow as a hockey player before I actually take on the college hockey route. So yeah, left at the halfway point, like end of December, and went to Sioux City, Iowa, just north of Omaha there. Yeah, and played junior hockey there for about a year and a half.
And then you met Matt Miller while you were with the Musketeers.
Well, actually, me and Matt Miller go way back.
Really?
So yeah, going back to Ohio guy. So growing up in Ohio, we had the Mid-Am district for USA Hockey. So like so Mid-Am district was like comprised of I think Ohio, Indiana, like Western Pennsylvania, Kentucky, whatever, like all these surrounding states. So me and Matt Miller actually started playing in like these summer hockey camps and stuff for the Mid-Am USA Hockey District. So me and Millsy have known each other since we were like 12 years old or 13, whatever it was. Like, so yeah, I've known Millsy for quite some time, and we were always buddies. Like at the camp, whenever we'd see each other, like we wouldn't see each other all season long, but then summers would roll around and we knew each other, and we'd hang out at these camps and stuff, and then eventually, yeah, we eventually reconnected in Sioux City, which was a lot of fun. Yeah, I think that was Millsy's last year in Sioux City before he went into Omaha. Yeah, so I joined at the halfway point there and played with a couple Omaha guys actually, Millsy and Nolan Krenzen, who ended up being my roommate there. But yeah,
That's right. That's right. But then, so was Omaha talking to you when you were with Sioux City?
so yeah, again, so Bernie always says it like. He's like, yeah, he made the wrong choice twice before he finally made the good one. Yeah, so the second time around too, yeah, I was in Sioux City and again going through the recruitment process and yeah, so I was playing and trying to figure out where I was going to land next because I wasn't going back to Boston University and it came down. It was a short list every time. Omaha was on the short list, like of like the top three. And this time it was basically between Ohio State and Omaha, and I was an Ohio guy, and I was enamored by. I grew up a Buckeye, so that the Buckeyes ended up winning out there.
I
So
mean, the mascot is pretty funny
that's right, a
to
Buckeye.
see.
Yeah, yeah. It's the mascot, Brutus, Brutus the Buckeye, and yeah, people always like whenever people always ask like, "What's a Buckeye?" I'm like, it's a nut. It's a nut. So, but yeah, and yeah, Bernie loves giving me crap for it, but yeah, I ended up turning down Omaha a second time and going to Ohio State from Sioux City.
Okay, so let's talk about that. So Steve
Yeah,
Rollick was one of the original Omaha coaches, and
that's
he
right.
coached DNB. And
That's
so,
right.
did you guys ever talk about what it was like to be coached by Steve Rollick?
We did, yeah, we did. We did talk about that. Yeah, Rawls is the man. Like I had a great relationship with Rawls, and it was funny. Like, it's so funny comparing our experiences with Rawls because like Bernie had him when Rawls was like fresh into college hockey. I think he was maybe he was in his 20s at the time.
I think so.
Yeah, and he's
He's
like
in his 50s now.
right, right. And he was in, like Bernie always said, like he was just like super, like, he was basically one of the boys, I guess, is what Bernie, described him as. And then, then I have the perspective of years later. Now Rawls was in his, I forget which year it was at Ohio State. I mean, he was maybe around year 10, 11, 12, whatever it was, at OSU. And at that point, married, kids, all of it. Kids that are, yeah, I mean, I guess they were still younger, but like, growing up, like getting into high school and stuff. And yeah, so we had two different versions of Rawls, like the young Rawls, like fresh into coaching college hockey, all energetic and stuff, and then like, like the like
Staid elder statesman.
serious Rawls, like yeah, and but yeah, I mean, I think we both love him. I had a great relationship with Rawls, and yeah, funny, yeah, he started out at Omaha, which I didn't know that until I got to Omaha.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that, and then Bernie told me he's like, yeah, Rawls was here and he coached me. I'm like, no way.
Yeah, he missed Gabs by a year. He left to go to, I think it was Duluth, the year
Yeah,
that Gabs came in, but he definitely coached DNB.
yeah, funny. Hockey world's small.
I say that all the time. So then we were talking before the call about COVID and how much fun it is to do school on screens, but that
That's right.
opportunity led to a fifth year for you. Why did you decide to go somewhere different than for that fifth year instead of, just doing it at Ohio State?
Yeah, that's a good question. There was a whole lot behind that. Yeah, I think I loved my time at Ohio State. Like I again, lifelong buddies, love the school, had great relationships there, love the city. Like it was, nothing but good things to say about it. But I think looking at it, like I earned my degree there, graduated, and then I think just kind of looking at the opportunity that was coming up and having different conversations with the coaches and stuff. It was difficult because I was really thinking about going back, and at the halfway point, had you asked me, I would have probably I would have told you, yeah, I'm going to go back to Ohio State at the halfway point of my senior season. But the way that things kind of shook out at the end of the season there, that was kind of like the beginning of like the transfer portal thing. Like it was, maybe 2 years before that was like the first year of it, and then that's when kind of like it's basically like free agency happens, and it's like it's kind of a mess to navigate, and eventually, like you just kind of I think I was looking at the situation. I'm like I gotta be somewhere else if I want a good opportunity to play in my last year, and try to set myself up for pro hockey afterwards. And so once I made that decision, Bernie was the first one that I talked to. He was the first one to reach out. So,
and he was like, third time is the charm here, Dom.
That's right. That's right. He got the conversation going early, and he brought that up a few times. He's like, you can't say no to me 3 times. So, yeah, it ended up working out, and so right after the senior season ended, I think it was a pretty quick turnaround, and made the decision to head to Omaha.
All right, so let's talk about your time in Omaha. So you joined the Mavs for the 2023-24 season, is that correct?
Yep, that's
Okay.
right. You got it.
Played 19 games with the Mavs. Had a goal, an assist, and a bunch of block shots.
10 minutes.
The first 10 minutes of the first game. Wow.
Yeah.
And then I was looking, Ohio State actually came to play in Omaha, but you didn't get to play in that game. Were you injured?
Yes. So Ohio State did come to Omaha, and so that was like my first game that I played in Omaha. We played Niagara. Things were going really well. Scored a goal, and then I think maybe second or third period, I took a hit. I took a hit to the head and was dealt with a concussion, and so then that kept me out of the game against Ohio State, which was a bummer because I was so excited. I mean, I had so many buddies that were still on that team, and so they were coming they were coming to town, and I had that one circled on the calendar. I was pretty excited about that one. But didn't get to play in it, which was quite a bummer, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. Got to see a bunch of the boys and showed them around Omaha a little bit, brought them to some coffee shops. So it was a good weekend, good hosting them there, but I was bummed I didn't get to play in it.
But you eventually came back then from the concussion protocol and were able to play quite a few games. Talk about your game as a defenseman with Omaha. What were your strengths, and how did that fit with the team?
Yeah, I found a lot of my game in Omaha. Like I learned a lot during my time there. I mean, my greatest strength has always been skating. Like I've always been a good skater. Like that's kind of been like the base of my game. So the big thing, like the biggest area that I took a step in Omaha was my defending. Like I think I was always solid, like one-on-one stuff, like wasn't gonna get beat, but I don't think I wasn't always like the hardest to play against, and that's where like Gabs and Bernie really helped me grow, was like using my skating to close gaps. And so I won't get too like nerdy with the hockey stuff here, but I think using my skating is the main thing, right? Like I use my skating to defend, close gaps, take pucks, and then I think where I added a lot of value is I was able to collect pucks, take my ice, move them, and then jump up and kind of push the play a little bit. Obviously, I wasn't producing a ton of points during my time at Omaha, but I think where I added value was, I was a puck moving defenseman. I was able to retrieve pucks, transition quickly, push play down the ice, and when we needed to defend, I think that again, like that's where I grew, was closing my gaps and cutting off plays before they even start in the offensive, or in I guess our defensive zone, the opponent's offensive zone, and then moving pucks and jumping up and trying to create offense whenever I could.
So you kind of found that element of your game in Omaha. So you did end up advancing your skills here so that you could end up playing pro hockey. So it did end up making that time and that jump worthwhile.
The coaches are good with they're really good with like pulling you aside and watching clips from your previous weekend or previous game or whatever it is. So I was always watching video with whoever it was, Gabs, Bernie, anyone, Hammer, Pete Aubrey. That was he was there for the 1 year that I was there, maybe 2 years. Sorry, he was there 2 years. I know he was there a year after me too, but yeah, like watching clips of those guys and like seeing the areas that I could grow. And the big thing again for me was just like boxing out in front of the net, like doing it, like getting into defending guys earlier and killing plays before they even happen. And that's where I grew. And then that translates well, especially in North American hockey, where again it's more physical and there's a lot less space and everything. And as a defender, in pro, like being able to take time and space away really quickly, and again retrieve pucks and transition quick. Like I learned a lot during my time in Omaha, and I definitely grew as a hockey player.
I love it. And feel free to nerd out on the hockey part. We have a lot of
Yeah.
different types of viewers of the podcast, so we want to
All right,
give them a
great.
little bit of everything.
Yeah.
But for the non-hockey nerds, I do want to talk about some of the more fun things around your time
Yeah.
at Omaha. So, like, what was your favorite road venue during your time playing at Omaha, and
Oh,
why?
that's a great question. Favorite road venue. Um, all right, I can go through the NCHC ones, but I'm trying to think of our out of conference games. I feel like we had a lot of home out of conference games that year.
I say
Um,
Niagara for sure.
yeah, yeah. There's a few. I got a couple, so I'll give a couple shouts here. Um, the easy answer was the Christmas, or I guess the New Year tournament in Arizona State. You
I love
can't.
that. That was amazing.
That was one of the best trips I've been on in college. I mean, that was awesome because we were still on break from school, so we left early, went to Arizona on like I can't remember if it was a Tuesday or Wednesday.
Tuesday. I think it was a Tuesday because they moved the press
Yeah.
conference.
Yeah, we had a nice little stint in Arizona that week. And I mean, when you can go to the desert in winter, it was still a little chilly there, but it wasn't anything bad. So yeah, that was awesome. And playing in Mullet Arena that year, I think it was what, like I can't remember if that was its first season or maybe its second season or
It
whatever it
was
was.
it was fairly new, but the
Yeah,
NHL was playing there too, so it was
that's
a
right.
different kind of
Yeah.
venue then.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, that was a great venue. Yeah, Arizona was awesome. But then obviously another easy one was a really cool place to go is North Dakota. That's a place like when I was a kid growing up, like I mean North Dakota hockey was good for a while. And like that was like the first college hockey rink that I'd ever heard about. Like I remember someone talking about Ralph Engelstad Arena, and it's like, like so I mean that's when people think of college hockey rinks, like that's one of the big ones that comes up. And so that was cool to go and see that venue. Yeah, I'd say those were probably my top two. I enjoyed going to Colorado anywhere. So like Colorado College or Denver. Like I like the scenery. I like seeing the mountains and stuff. So, but I'm not a huge fan of Denver or CC. So I won't like give their facilities a nod, but I like the surrounding area. So. And I'll tell you, I hated Western Michigan. Couldn't
I was
stand
going
it.
to ask about Lawson because we obviously just played there last
Yeah,
weekend, and the
yeah,
Lunatics are something else. What did you think about their game day atmosphere?
yeah. I mean, that's what they have going for them. Is it's not like a great setup in the rink there, like for the opposing team. I mean, their locker room is okay for the opposing team, and but it's just like for something about that, like I couldn't stand their setup. And it's probably because out of all of my college hockey games, I think that's like memorably like one of my worst ones that I've played. Like just one of those games where nothing can go right. Nothing can go right. Like I felt good going into it, and then like anytime I touched the puck, like I would have an easy pass. It felt like puck was popping off my stick, or so nothing could go right. So that probably is influencing why I don't like that spot. But yeah, I mean the crowd doesn't make it any easier. It's like it's a tight atmosphere, and they're on you the whole time. And I mean it's a hostile environment. It's a tough place to play, and it's an advantage for Western for sure. And then but they're building a new rink now. I don't know why they're that's I mean I'm looking forward to seeing what it looks like, but I feel like that's like a big advantage for them is their rink and their atmosphere. So, you
John
know,
and I have had the same conversation about that because it's going to be almost twice as big. And we said
yeah.
there's no way they're going to put the students in between the blue lines.
Yeah,
Money
I'm
just dictates that.
and it's not from what I heard, it's not going to be right on campus, right?
No, no, it's I think in downtown Kalamazoo.
Yeah, and did I hear right that that they're going to be busing students
I
to
I
the
hadn't heard that, but I would not be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, maybe they have plans for it. But I don't know if you can beat the rink right on campus and it's tight and I mean they've had their traditions for a while there, so it'll be interesting. I mean, again, I'm sure they won't have issues, with I'm sure the facilities will be great and they've been a good program for a while, so I'm sure it'll work out. But yeah, interesting. We'll see.
So let's talk about facilities. Tell us about Baxter from a player's perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy. I'm stoked to get into this because, like, I know we're shouting out away venues, but out of all the venues I've seen, like, I've gotten a survey. I mean,
A
I've played
lot.
in Hockey East, I've played in Big Ten, I've played in NCH, so I've gotten to see quite a bit. um, I mean, Baxter Arena is incredible. It's one of the obviously I didn't get to see all the home facilities and locker rooms for all these other places, but at least the rink itself is one of the best that I've played in seeing. Like, Baxter Arena as a rink is awesome. We pack it every game. It's just, I mean, you can't. It's one of the best rinks that I've played in. But then the facilities themselves, like locker room, weight room, all of it. You can't ask for much better. Like, the locker room is awesome. I mean, it's a pro locker room. Like, you got it's decked out. You got all the leather seating and stuff. The gym is I mean, it's all ours, and it's decked out with top of the line equipment. Like, I mean, I loved our gym. It was so nice having it right there too. Like, I'll give you like perspective. So, like, at Ohio State, again, like, I mean, great facilities there, but we shared the gym there, so it wasn't always ours, and there was kind of limited times that you could get into it. And you had to trek a little bit to get to the gym. In Omaha, it's completely yours. Like, whenever you want to get in there, like, you can go get in there. You want to hit a lift, go hit a lift. You want to do some recovery, and when you're away from, like, when practice is going on, whatever it is, in the afternoons, evenings, whatever, you can go and do recovery in the weight room. And then, I mean, this is my favorite part for sure. I'm the biggest sauna guy in the world. I love the sauna. I love it. Like, when I have a sauna that I can access, like, I'm hitting the sauna six days a week minimum, maybe seven. And it was part of my routine there. I don't know if we had rules that we weren't allowed to get into the rink at times that, whatever, but I was getting into the rink when I wanted to, and I was able to sauna. Like, my nightly routine was, and again, like, set up in Omaha, like, going back to how great it is. So we obviously have the apartments right across the parking lot.
Broadmoor.
So I was living right in Broadmoor. I would make my dinner or go out to whatever it was. I'd eat my dinner, and then I'd walk right across the parking lot, like the 30 seconds that you had to walk to get to the rink. I'd go, I'd hit my sauna, hang out for a while, take my cold shower, and then ready for bed. Like, it was the best setup I could have asked for. We had like a sauna club going, like me, Zach Erdahl, Noah Ellis. Like, we had plenty of guys that would get in there. Slip would get in there sometime, but like me and Erds were going like every night together. It was the best night routine ever. Like, we'd have our dinner, go enjoy a sauna, hang out, chop it up for a while, and then, like, that would wind us down. It was the best. So, yeah, sorry, I went on a tangent there, but
No,
yeah,
I love it. I love it. Absolutely love it.
you cannot beat the facilities there are incredible. You can't ask for much better. And sorry, also, practice rink and game rink connected to each other is a game changer. Game changer. Like, so nice to be able to walk right to your practice ring, practice, and then on the days where, I mean, sometimes they have the volleyball floor and whatever, but on the days where you're gearing up and you have both sheets, you can go run your first part of practice at the practice rink, and then the other ice is fresh, and then once you get part with your practice, go to the fresh ice in the game rink, and then do your second part of practice. that was the best setup. You can't beat it. Yeah, I'm like thinking back on it now and I miss it.
Spoiled. You're spoiled.
Yeah, very spoiled, very spoiled. Compared to pro now and what we have here, I can't believe how spoiled we were.
Do you think
So
that's why a lot of the guys come back over the summer and work out at Baxter's because of the facilities?
I think so. I mean, I spent 2 summers there. The summer that I was coming into Omaha, I got in early, like before any of the other new guys had gotten there. So I spent my whole summer in Omaha coming into it. And then after I was done too, I spent my summer going into my first year pro there. And again, like I don't think there's a better setup for it. Like I obviously a lot of guys like going home and training and everything. Like they have their spots and stuff, and I get it. But I mean, for me, I don't know if there's many places that you can find where you have your your gym and the best training that you could possibly ask for. I mean, I had Lou when we were there, Mike Lewis, the man. Shout out Mike Lewis. I hope he sees this. I got to text him after this. I mean, we had Lou there, and so awesome training with Lou. And then right after you're done training, you go and you get on the free available ice right around the corner. Like, you don't have to go anywhere. Where a lot of places, you go, you hit your workout, and then you got to drive and get lunch somewhere, and then drive somewhere else to a rink and skate and work out, and you know,
What a waste of time.
right? Like, oh my, you got it all. Like, why would you go anywhere else? So, yeah, I think that's a huge reason. And you see it. Like, there's a bunch of the pro guys come back in the summer. I mean, I could shout out all the guys in the pro group, like an incredible group of guys that come back every summer. And yeah, I think that it's a no-brainer. Like the facilities are a huge part, and I mean the city is incredible. There's so many perks to coming back there in the summer. So
Let's
yeah,
talk about the guys because I was looking back at that 23-24 roster and oh my gosh, so many of the guys are still
yeah,
playing and obviously you've got this group of seniors, which I'm going to ask you about the group of seniors in a
yeah,
little bit here, but talk about those relationships with those guys. Again, you're only here a year, but obviously you knew some of them previously.
yeah.
Do you guys still keep in contact? Is there a group chat?
Oh, big time. Yeah. Now I'm trying to think of all the group chats we have. Yeah, but I mean, long story short, yes. Like I mean, that's a special thing about Omaha. Like it's a lot of places. I mean, you'd think it'd be difficult. You come in for 1 year. It's like it's less than 12 months for most guys. I mean, for me, I was there longer than that, but like you come in for a season, say it's August or whatever it is, and then you're there until April, May, and then you head out. It's like that's your 5th year. But I mean, for us, like Omaha, it's like you go in, you don't know a lot of the guys, and then you have one season with them, and you're leaving with lifelong buddies. Like, there's so many. I mean, I could go through the whole roster. Like, I keep in touch with almost everyone. I mean, we still have group messages that are active every single day. Like, we got. I mean, yeah, there's so many of them. Like, I'll give you an example. We have one where it's called Send Meal Pics, and it's me, Jesse Lansdell, Seth Isley, Zach Erdahl, Slip, and there might be a few more. I'll explain this. We kick guys out like every now and then for inactivity. So the whole group mess is just all we do is we take a picture of our meals and we send it in, and then guys kind of comment on it and stuff. But for the most part, if you scroll through this group message, it's just photos of
Food.
meals, whether you cooked it or whether you bought sushi or whatever. Like Jesse's the king of sushi, so he's always sending sushi. But yeah, that's active. Like, I mean, this has been going on for what, 2.5 years now, and it's still active. And it's like I think I have everyone that's in it right now, but we've kicked out all the French. I mean, Joe LeMay got kicked out for inactivity. Jacob Guavin got kicked out for inactivity and hating on other people's meals. So we've had a lot of guys come and go. But, yeah, that's one that's active. I mean, I talk to a lot of the guys like daily, like Rolly. I talk to Rolly most days. I talk to Erds. I talk to Noah Ellis. I mean, a lot of those guys. And I mean, our senior class, we had an incredible group of guys in our senior class: Sully, Randy, Millsy, like I mean, all those guys, like, and Curb, like, and just an incredible group that it's like even if you don't talk to each other every day, like you run into them and it's like nothing changed. I saw him this summer. Like I was in Omaha for a quick second, and I saw him, and we all had the best time. Like you see, it doesn't matter how long you go without seeing guys. Like you get back together, and all is good. So yeah, really really good group, and I think that's what Omaha does really well is they recruit good people and makes it easy to find good buddies in them. So.
Well, let's talk about, you talked about your great, super senior class.
Yeah.
We've
Oh, yeah.
got
Super teams too. I mean,
super
Jesse,
seniors, yeah.
Seth, all those guys. Yeah.
We've got a group of guys that are going to be doing senior night here coming up during the Denver series, which is
Yeah.
interesting. It's a series early because I got some other stuff planned. But talking about guys like Griffin and Gavin and
Yeah.
Slippy and Rolly and Mitchie and
Yeah.
Simon, what advice would you give to them as they're coming to the end of their careers here in college?
You know what? That's a great question. Like all those guys have such good heads on their shoulders. Like I don't even need to give them advice. Like they all got it. Like, but like I would just, I think for me, like if I could go back and give advice to myself, and the advice that I would give to that is just like just enjoy it. Like, be where your feet are, like don't think too far ahead and think about what's next. Like it's funny, like I just dropped that, but like the Ludkeys always drop that to me too. Like Tanner and G always said, like, be where your feet are. Like so I'm sending that back to him now. But yeah, I think just enjoy it. Like it's funny how fast it goes. Like I was lucky. I got an extra year. I got a fifth year of hockey, but I mean, it's some of the best times that you're ever gonna have. Like you can't beat playing college hockey, being with your buddies all day long, showing up to the rink and competing together, and sharing meals together and all the little things that come with it, and then competing on Friday and Saturday nights, like especially in front of fans that Omaha has. Like you're not going to find things like that again. Like you can't find that community, you can't find that atmosphere. It's yeah, so I would say just enjoy it, like soak it all up. Don't think too far ahead, don't rush out of there. Like just have a good time with it. And yeah, that's what I would tell them. But like I said, those guys are all they got great heads on their shoulders, and I can learn from them just as much as they can learn from me. So they'll be just fine.
That's awesome. One thing, when I talk to people, they're always like, "Oh, I love Dom. How did you connect so quickly with this community?" I mean, it's amazing to me. We posted your picture from Colorado College, and people are like, "Oh, I miss that guy." What is that all about?
You know what? Like I think that's just a nod to Omaha. Like I'll tell people about it. Again, I'm Omaha's biggest fan, biggest advocate from afar. Anyone that's willing to listen to me go on about Omaha, I will talk their ear off. Like I think, and that's what's special about it is like the community that's there. Again, going back to the whole thing of a fifth year, like you go into a place for such a short period of time, like you'd think it's just like, oh, you kind of go and you start to build up as you go, but then you leave and it's like, oh yeah, I enjoyed my time there, but I wasn't there that long. It's not the case with Omaha. Like I think the way that people welcomed me in, everyone, fans, like all of them, I think like that's what made it easy. It made it so easy for me to just come in and be myself. Like you could come in and chat with anyone. People were so welcoming, like coming up and saying whatever it was. Like they'd hear me talk about restaurants and stuff. They'd come up and they'd start talking food. They start talking coffee shops. Like I just think the community is so special there that it made it super easy. And then I look back and my however many months playing there, and then whatever it was, a year and a half there that I spent, like it feels like I spent my whole college career there, my whole life there. It's like Omaha it feels like home. Like I love going back there and seeing people. I love spending time there. It's just, yeah, it's a nod to the people of Omaha and the city. And yeah, it made it super easy to come in and fit in right away. And that's why I spew about it whenever I have the chance. And yeah, I'm Omaha's biggest advocate from afar.
We love that. Now, one of the favorite memories that I have with you, and speaking from a fan, was we were up in St. Cloud
Yep.
in I think it was January, and the students had a trip up there. And this is Bill Pickett's 10th year as like doing spirit and tradition trips, and he said that was one of his favorite trips. But to set up the story for those that don't know it, you guys were playing St. Cloud, and I think you guys came back and won the Friday night game in overtime. It was a battle back and forth, and I think
Yeah.
Griffin got a pass from Tanner, or Tanner got a pass from Griffin, and won it. And the
Yeah.
student said to me, "Now where's the team come out?" Because one of my favorite traditions about Omaha hockey is the Baxter Arena lobby celebration, which actually dates back to CenturyLink and before that, but. They said, "Well, where does the team come out?" And I said, "Well, the bus is parked over on the side." And it was freezing cold that night. It was like,
Oh yeah.
I don't even know how cold it was. And we were out there for like an hour. But you guys came out and sang the fight song with the students. That is
Right.
a core memory for me. How did that discussion come from the player side? Like, are we really going to do this?
I got to think back on this. I mean, you're right though. Like that's the tradition there. It's like we win, we sing, right? And
Right.
that again, like I could say this a million times while we talk, but like again, nod to Omaha and the community and the fans. Like just the best support, and no matter at home obviously, but then even on the road, like we traveled so well everywhere we went. Like you could always find Omaha fans wherever you went, and that was super special. But yeah, I mean, I think we won a big game there in St. Cloud, and obviously we knew that we had some support in the stands there, and I forget exactly how it came about, but yeah, I remember walking out the back there and seeing everyone off to the side, and the bus was right there, but we're like yeah, we're gonna go sing obviously, and so it's just like I mean it's fun things like that, like again, like that's the cool thing about the community that you have in Omaha. Like it just like everyone, I don't know, you feel that support and everyone kind of rallies around each other, and it was a fun thing. Yeah, we all got in a circle there, and I remember it. We had Mav Puck right in the middle.
That is on the video. We have you saying, Matt Puck in the middle.
That's right. That's right. So, yeah, I don't remember exactly how it came about, but yeah, I mean, it's fun things like that. Just makes Omaha special.
And memories for those students for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
Some of the maniacs weren't wearing shirts. They were just wearing their overalls, and it
Out in the
was
cold air.
absolutely freezing.
Crazy, crazy. But good on them. Good on them. I love it. That's the energy that you need sometimes.
Crazy Omaha fans. All right, so let's talk about what's next for you. So you talked about, wanting to continue to play pro. Are you looking to come back to the States, or do you think you want to keep kicking around Europe?
You know what? Like, I don't know for sure. I mean, I don't know what the next few weeks hold for me. Nonetheless, next year and everything. I don't know. I guess like going back to the advice that I gave those guys, like I'm just trying to be where my feet are right now and enjoy this time. And I don't know. Like I don't know if I'm gonna keep playing next year or not. I got so many things that I want to do. I gotta figure out exactly which route I want to go. Hopefully, I mean, my mom, if she hears this, it's gonna drive her nuts. It already drove her nuts that I'm back here playing. She thought I was done for sure, but um, yeah, I just have so many different things that I'm interested in, things that I want to do, and so if it's not hockey, I got a lot that I got to figure out. At some point, I do want to go back to school. I was on the pre-med route at Ohio State, and so I'm still I'm still really considering the medical school route. But I also, like I said, when I was out in Colorado, I was working in a sports concussion research lab, and so I really enjoy the research side of things. So I might end up going back to school and doing different type of sports injury research or biomechanics, things like that. So I think school is for sure in my future. But then I got a million other things I want to do too. Like I want to open up a coffee shop and a bakery, and I want to work in a restaurant. I want to join like a country music or indie folk band. I got my guitar right here.
I was going to say, I saw that you were self-taught on
I
guitar.
just I just bought this. Yeah, I just bought this off of off of Facebook Marketplace last week.
Wow.
Yeah, I got so many things I want to do, so I got to figure out. I got to figure out, what's next for me. But yeah, at least for the time being, I'm just gonna enjoy where I'm at and enjoy the experiences of being able to travel around Europe. I mean, I don't know, I'm 26 and I'm single right now, so I can just go wherever. I don't have much that's, I can do just about anything and go anywhere right now. So I'm just trying to enjoy it, and I'll eventually figure it out. So
Well, I was
my
going to say
mom
you
my
had a
mom probably
couple.
doesn't like to hear that. She probably wants to hear one specific thing, but you
Sorry,
know,
Mom.
yeah, be all right.
Well, I was going to say because there was a couple threads throughout your thing where you talked about, going back to med school and things
Yeah,
like that. So the fact that school itself is still on the journey, somewhere along the line is a consistent thread at least.
that's right. That's right. So yeah, I think I'm fairly close to that. So I gotta get things in line. There's a few things I gotta do and get set up for that, and that's a whole process. So I got a lot of work ahead of me, but I'll be all right, and I'll get it all sorted out at some point.
Any fun stories from your time at Omaha? Any that are, podcast worthy at least?
You know what? That's a great question. I was trying to think about like any specific good ones like that that happened during my time. There's just, I mean, there's so many. It's overwhelming because I feel like there's so many like little inside jokes and stuff, and um, little things that went on that are funny. That's a tough question. Like, I mean, like I'll give you. There's one that I know that the boys will appreciate at least. Like, I don't know if you ever heard. You ever heard the guys, like one of my nicknames there was the goalie. Did you
No,
did you ever
no, I
hear?
never heard that.
All right, well, this is a good one. The boys at least will appreciate this one when they hear it. So, but one of my nicknames that I had when I was there was the goalie,
Okay.
and which obviously I'm not a goalie, so it doesn't really doesn't really line up. But there was one time we were at I think it was a Blue Line Club dinner, and I think it was maybe the Marriott there.
We just had one last week at the Marriott there. So
Did
yeah,
you? Yeah, so it was
yeah.
probably that. I think it was maybe right around this time of the year that this happened. So we were at the Marriott, we were having the dinner and stuff, and like all the guys kind of space out at different tables and stuff. So of course I got stuck with the French guys. I got stuck with Gueves and Joe LeMay, which is funny because like they were some of my really good buddies when I was there, but at the same time we went at each other in the locker room more than anyone. Like we were always like in a fun way. Like we were
Like
always bickering
brothers.
about something. So these like and those two were just like those two were inseparable. You couldn't if you were giving crap to Joe LeMay, like Jake Gwevins hopping in and you're getting double teamed. Like it's so I get stuck with those two, and we're sitting with the family, and like we all introduce ourselves and everything, and I say hi, I'm Dom Vidoli, and some time passes, like we're there for I don't know maybe 30 minutes at this point, and then the rest of their family had showed up, and the one lady who I originally introduced myself to like points to her son. She's like, "Oh, this is he's the goalie," and so she had heard Dom
Vidoli
goalie
as the goalie.
and she thought I said Dom the goalie. And so for some reason, like, and I have gotten this before, like in a hockey context, when I introduce myself, sometimes people hear Vidoli and they think like I'm saying the goalie. And so, and I just explain, I'm like, oh no, like my last name's Vidoli, Vido, whatever. And I'm like, like it happens. And so like it takes me maybe like 20 seconds to clear the air. I'm like, oh no, I'm not the goalie. But Joe LeMay and Jacob Guavin think this is the funniest thing in the world. They're dying laughing as I'm explaining that I'm not the goalie, and they're just going on like they're howling. And so we get to practice the next day or whatever it is, and we're in the locker room, and they're coming up to me and they're like dapping me up. They're like, "What's up, goalie? Like, what's up, the goalie?" And so they're telling all the guys the story, like, "Why are we calling Dom the goalie?" And they're like, he explained for 10 minutes that he wasn't the goalie. He explained, took him 10 minutes to explain it. And I'm like, didn't take me took me maybe 20 seconds to explain it. And then like I thought that this would maybe take a day and this would blow over. It's like a week after the fact. The boys are still laughing about it. Like they're like, and every time Gwev's and Joe LeMay's story changes, they're like, it took him 5 minutes to explain. It took him a couple minutes to explain. We went up and we got more food and we came back. He was still explaining. Like it's changing every time. And so it catches on, and the boys start calling me the goalie, and I'm like, there's no way this lasts. Like there's no chance. And it sure is it lasts. And so now I've evolved. So if you ever see me around those guys, like especially like Rolly, I mean anyone, any of them, like everyone calls me it now. Like even like to the coaches, like Hammer will call me the goalie. Now it's evolved into like all these different things. Like I'm the tender, like goaltender. I'm tender. I'm goalie. And then I think Western Michigan has the tradition where like when Simon or whoever's playing goalie like takes the helmet off, they start chanting "ugly goalie."
Ugly goalie. Yep.
So Tyler Rollwagon is the king of like he's got all these ticks, and so like for a while, whenever I walked into the room, like Rolly would just start chanting like "ugly goalie," and so I was the ugly goalie. Now in our Omaha Fantasy Football League, our alum Fantasy Football League, my team name every year is Ugly Tender or Ugly Goalie. So you
It
got at
lasts.
some point like you got to lean into it, and so yeah, now my nickname is the goalie. So that's one that yeah, if you're ever around me and any of the guys, you'll hear oh what's up goalie or like oh like so
I would
that's
have been so confused. So that makes so much sense now.
yeah, yeah. So now you know the background of why I'm the goalie in Omaha. That's one the boys will like that one. They'll they might tune in to just to hear that story again. They love that one. So
And especially the actual origins of it, not the legend that has
right,
been
yeah.
created over
If you
time.
ask Joe LeMay or any of those or Jacob Guavin to explain where they'll tell a completely different story than the first 20 stories they told. So yeah.
Well, and what about that fan that didn't know that you weren't the goalie? I mean,
Yeah. Right. I mean, I was still fairly new at that point. It's not like I was scoring a ton of goals and everything. So I don't blame them that they
no
didn't.
stolen valor there.
Yeah, I don't blame them that they didn't know exactly who I was. So that's fine by me.
So when you look back at your time at Omaha, what do you hope that Maverick fans remember about you,
Oh,
other than the nickname?
other than the nickname of the goalie. Yeah, I mean, like the hockey side's one thing, but like I just I think the relationships and stuff off the ice is more important to me. Like that's I'm the relationships mean the most. So I mean I hope people remember that like I just I loved Omaha. I loved all the people. The community and everything means the most to me. And so yeah, I hope they remember me for how I was around town and interacting with people and yeah I love interacting with everyone and just little conversations here and there that's what means the most to me and so yeah it's more so the relationships that mean the most and I hope people remember me for yeah someone that just loved Omaha and loved the community there.
Well, we hope that you make it back to Omaha a lot in the future, especially visit some of those coffee shops that you love. We
That's
didn't get a
right.
chance to shout them out. Do you want to shout out a couple of them?
You know what? Like, I don't want to keep us on here too long. I got so many things I could shout out. Like, uh, I'll
Do
shout out
it.
my.
Well, we'll
I'll
do. We'll have John do a special little shout out thing.
okay. All right. Well, listen. We'll shout out a couple coffee shops here. We're gonna shout out. We're gonna shout out Archetype Coffee. I think the best specialty coffee in Omaha for sure. I love Archetype. They hosted a lot of coffee clubs, so thanks to Archetype. Lola's if you're looking for a good brunch, especially weekend brunch. Sourdough pancakes, you can't beat their sourdough pancakes. Lola's, and then I mean, obviously, you got to shout out Roast too. The people at Roast, come summertime, I'm a cold brew guy. I love my hot coffees, but you can't do hot coffees when it's 90 something degrees out. So Roast cold brew, some of the best I've had, and the people. the people that worked there were great. They knew my order by the end of my time there. I'd walk in, they'd say same thing. I'm like, yeah, unless I filled up my rewards card, they always knew I would get a dirty chai with a bunch of shots of espresso in it. So, yeah, shout out Archetype Coffee. And then I got too many restaurants to shout out, but I'll give a few. Shout out El Basha. They hosted me and Rolly every Thursday night for the entire season. So shout out El Basha Beef Shawarma. Shout out to Saffron Urban Indian Kitchen. Rocky, the owner at Saffron, is one of the best around. First place I ate at actually when I got into Omaha. I got in on like a midweek night. I got in around 6 o'clock and I went right to Saffron Urban Indian Kitchen. I met Rocky and Rocky took care of me ever since then. So I actually saw him this past summer when I was passing through and he's the man. I went there with some of the guys and he was sending us free appetizers and everything. So shout out Rocky and Saffron Urban Indian Kitchen. And then shout out Noli's Pizza and particularly Steve at Noli's Pizza. Steve always took care of the boys. They would stay open sometimes, like after games, and make sure we could come over and get some pizza and stuff. So Steve is the man at Noli's Pizza.
And right across the parking lot.
Yeah, and you know what? I shared a Peroni or two with Steve. So shout out Steve and yeah, and the Peronis at Noli's. I was a fan of their Peroni. So
I
yeah.
love it. We were talking about the Blue Line Club dinner. They asked what people liked. They asked the players, name one thing they love about Omaha. And there were a number of coffee shops and a number of restaurants and then the people. So I think you hit on all three
Yeah.
of the big things that the guys like.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. I mean, those are for me for sure. It's people, coffee, and food. That checks off. Oh, that checks off almost everything for me. So
That makes
yeah.
sense. Anything else you want to share before I do the little wrap up?
Oh, oh my gosh. You know what? That's tough. Like I feel like there's so many. We could spend hours here talking about so many different things. I mean I just want to shout out all the people too. Like shout out to all the boys like that, like they made it so special the fifth year there. Like we just had such a good group of guys. Like I it's tough to name names because there's so many good dudes and so many good people and like the families were incredible. Like I loved interacting with all the families there. Like the Ludke family, like the Krenzens. Shout out the Krenzens. Like Nolan Krenzen, my roommate, and the Krenzen family. They treated me like I was one of their own. And yeah, there's so many people to shout out, and it's tough. So it's like if I didn't name any. If I missed some of the names, like I apologize because there's just so many good people and so many good memories and like I'm trying to do it off the top of my head. So if I miss you, it's not that I forgot about you. I love all the families, all the people, and Omaha was so good to me. And I don't know if any words can do it justice. So yeah, shout out Omaha and you know what? And shout out to my parents too. Shout out to my parents. I couldn't do it without them and. The hockey journey has been a special one, and without my parents, I wouldn't be able to do it. So shout out to mom and dad. I love you guys.
Love it, love it. Well, Don, this
Yeah,
has been just so much fun. Maverick fans have enjoyed having you part of our journey over the years, and we can't wait to see what you do next, whether that's hockey or whatever mom is going to direct you to do.
that's right. Yeah, wherever she ushers me.
That's right. That's right. That's what moms are for. And I
Yeah,
also want to thank the fans for their support of the Mavpuckcast, especially our founding members that make this kind of content possible. We really appreciate their support as well.
thank you guys. This was the best. I appreciate everyone. So thank you.